Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to week 5, day 23 of Commercial Diving School. Today, I'm going to be talking about today's dive. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and leave any comments or questions for me down below. So, first thing was breakfast. We had eggs and corned beef hash today, and then we jumped into the muster at 8 a.m. And then right after muster, we went to a different dive station today. And then we immediately started setting up. We got all the hats set up, got all the umbilicals hooked up, got all the comms boxes hooked up, tested comms. And then we got the hyperbaric chamber set up and everything. So I actually recorded a GoPro video of when I put on my gear, like when I donned the hat and then when I jumped in. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I might be, explaining a little bit about what happened in that video, just so you guys kind of know what to look for and what kind of things are going on in the video. So if you guys notice that in the background there's like a hyperbaric chamber like off to the left, that hyperbaric chamber is like a training one. We set it up to simulate what it would be in like an actual diving situation, but we're not really diving in deep enough water to where if something happened we would have to get a guy out and put him in there. So it's really just for training. So we do pressurize it down to like 50, 60 feet, and then just leave it for the day, just so we can practice setting a hyperbaric chamber up and everything. So after we got started and finished setting everything up, we got 3 guys in the water at a time, and then I think I did comms first for my first thing for the day. And then I did some back tending, which is, so you have a person that's, primary tender, someone that is on the umbilical, paying attention to the diver and everything. But you also have like a back tender, which is somebody basically trying to get the umbilical off of the tree, which is where the umbilicals are stowed. And the purpose of that is you don't really want too much umbilical hanging around everywhere. So you put it back, or if they need more, you kind of clean up the area so there's just not hose all tangled up everywhere. So I did that next, and then I was one of the primary tenders, and then we went to lunch today. Lunch was beef stroganoff again. I think they like making that. I don't know why. It seems like we've had that so many times. Definitely we've had that the most is beef stroganoff, but we also had mixed vegetables, and I think a dinner roll went with it. And then right after lunch we got back on dive station, and then I got ready to dive because it was my group's turn. So I went and got ready, got all my stuff on, and then for our what we're doing in the water today, basically we weren't doing too much, but walking. So we walked really, really far, actually about 100 feet, I would say, somewhere around there. So quite a ways. Like once we got into the water, it's good practice to like face your umbilical. So you have the tender up here, and then you have the umbilical going down to the diver, and it's good that the diver faces the umbilical because you can't see anything. So if you face it, pretend like you're holding basically a rope and someone else is holding a rope on the other end and they're pulling on it, and then close your eyes, they can basically say, hey, just like walk backwards, So it's kind of a way that, okay, if you know that is straight, you know that if you go straight back, you can go out. So about 100 feet out or to 150 feet, there's like railroad tracks that are kind of like on a bridge that is over the water in that area. So we basically walked about 100 to 150 feet out to that bridge with the railroad tracks and just walk under it. Some of us, like me, like kind of climbed up the column, the concrete column, and there's a lot of barnacles on the column, so you can kind of like hold on to them, but you have to be really careful because they could cut you. So I basically was being dumb, but I could have definitely cut my finger or something, but I was wearing gloves, so or I could have messed up my gloves. So definitely don't do that if you don't want to get cut or mess up your gloves. But I'd like to climb to see where I'm at, because you can climb up to the water line and kind of look around and actually see something for once, instead of being in almost complete darkness. So basically what happened for me for my dive was that in the video you see I'm basically ready with all my gear, and then I put the neck dam on first, and then the guy comes up with the hat, and you step through your umbilical, you hook it up to your snap shackle on your left, and then they help you put your hat on, and then you're supposed to connect your bailout whip, which connects to your bottle on your back. So if you notice in the video, there's two hoses. One's like a black hose and one's a yellow hose going to the hat. The one that's yellow, that's like your main air. That's your surface supplied air. The one you're going to be breathing off of basically the whole time. If something happens to that air, you have secondary air, which is the black hose. That's basically coming from the tank that's on your back. So like I said, if anything were to happen, you would turn on your bailout bottle, and then you'd be breathing out off of that until you can, get out of the surface, get up to the surface, and at least you can breathe while that's happening. So the other wire, besides the two hoses, that's your comms wire. So that's what you're using to talk to the topside guy through the hat. So just wanted to explain that to you guys if you're curious on in the video what were the hoses and wires and everything. So that's basically what makes up your umbilical, is those hoses and wires. But you also have a line, which is like rope, and that's kind of like hooked to the D-ring on that you hook to your snap shackle. And they do that because if say you need to get pulled or something, then you're not pulling on your air hoses, and you're not pulling on like your head or something. It's pulling on your hip, and it's pulling the rope, not your air hoses or your comms wires and stuff. So that's basically the umbilical that you see, all those things wrapped up into one, basically not solid, but make up one hose that they duct tape in sections and everything. So but basically I get the hat on, I get my gloves on, and I jump into the water, and then from there I face towards my umbilical, and then I just walk backwards. Now when I first jumped in, it was like pure darkness. Like I tried putting my hand like on my viewport, like literally on the glass, and I couldn't see my hands. And I think that was because there's such a contrast between the sunlight and down there that your eyes need to adjust, because about 15 minutes later I could start to see underwater and everything. So I basically just started walking backwards for a long time. Then I walked so far that I went under the bridge where the railroad tracks are, and then I climbed up the column. I like waved back at the topside guys that are attending and comms, and I went back down and I basically just chilled for a while. There is bioluminescence in the water. So once my eyes adjusted, I could like, bioluminescence are like basically little like living organisms in the water, and they react to movement. So like there's videos on YouTube where like somebody splashes like water and it like lights up. It's like, so, but there's not that much in there. There's a bunch, but it's not so much that it's like glowing. But there's some, like I was like playing with the water in front of my viewport, and the little bioluminescence will like light up and wiggle around, and I kind of want to like capture some in a bottle so that I can like, go into a dark room and you can like shake it up and see the, bioluminescence in the bottle. You can actually buy stuff like that off of Amazon. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's basically what I did. Waited around. The whole dive was 45 minutes, so I add 45 minutes to my total dive log, and so I came back up, and basically I was done with the dive. So yeah, that was basically the dive for today. It was really fun. I had a good time. And I can't wait to dive on Friday, so stay tuned for that. I can't remember what we're doing tomorrow, but I think it's classroom stuff. But definitely stay tuned for the dive. I'm going to try to get another, GoPro video if I can, and then stay tuned for the weekly recap this weekend and anything else I got coming up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like if you enjoyed. Leave any comments or questions down below. And I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.